The biggest pattern trends for 2026. First, we have boho prints. Here we see a variety of patterns reminiscent of tapestry, paisley, and also bandana prints. So, it's a very wide range. Generally, these prints will appear in slightly more fluid fabrics, but they can also be found in slightly heavier materials, especially those resembling tapestry. These prints greatly enrich the look, giving it a richer feel. And I'm not just talking about money here, I'm talking about an aesthetic. They bring richness, depth. While the bandana print may appear in more fluid, looser materials, tapestry shows up in slightly heavier ones, as seen in various fashion shows, such as Burberry and Alexander McQueen, among others. These thicker fabrics, really geared toward that tapestry vibe, are ideal for colder seasons, but can also be adapted for warmer seasons or slightly milder days. You can bet on tailored sets, coats, whether shorter or longer, or even blazers, as seen at Etro. We saw a wide variety of these pieces leaning toward tailoring. If you prefer dresses, I'd suggest going for very soft, flexible fabrics that move as you walk, as seen at Zimmermann. And, as you know, the 2026 boho is a more elegant, sophisticated boho, often paired with leather and gold. It's adorned, but not over the top. So, we need to be a bit careful. If you're going for a very printed piece, avoid making it extremely colorful, with too big of a mix of colors. The ideal is to keep everything within the same palette, bringing cohesion and harmony to the look. It makes all the difference in wearing prints beautifully, sophisticatedly, and creatively, but without excess. The second big print trend for 2026 is plaid. Plaid will come in many forms, from more colorful versions, like the ones seen at Louis Vuitton and Miu Miu, to simpler ones, like those seen at Chanel. The interesting thing is, there's plaid for every taste, from those with a grunge vibe to hyper-sophisticated, totally elegant plaids. The idea here is that everyone will feel represented. A big highlight within the plaid trend is the very small, delicate plaid, which practically disappears from afar and can only be noticed up close. This is a very new trend, quite recent, and it promises to appear strongly in 2026. It was brought by Schiaparelli, Coach, Chloe, and Fendi. So, it's a plaid that's widely spread. Many brands featured it as the main fashion point within this trend for 2026. I believe this one will become a major trend. I don't think it will be a mass trend that everyone adopts. I believe it will remain a bit more restricted to people who like something more sophisticated, elegant, and elevated. Without a doubt, this is a very beautiful plaid. I even think it's an excellent way to introduce plaid into your wardrobe if you don't like this print much, which is something many people tell me. Oh, I like plaid, but I don't like those big flashy versions. What can I do? Add this micro plaid to your wardrobe. It's subtle, delicate, light, and easy to match. It flows much more smoothly to the eye than grunge plaid, the flannel shirt type, which has a heavier and more distinctive feel. It all depends on the aesthetic you're aiming for. If you're going for a heavier rock and roll vibe, a large, bold red and black plaid will work for you. If you're going for something more alternative, black and white, often in a grid plaid, will suit you. Now, if you want something more elegant, subtle, and delicate, the smaller plaid will be perfect for you. And if you're going for something more classic and timeless, I'd recommend the kind of plaid presented by Chanel. Besides not being too big, it's part of the tweed texture, which is already a classic of this brand. We're talking about a type of plaid that never goes out of style, especially if your style is elegant and traditional. So, there will be plaid for every taste. It depends a lot on your personal style, but know that if it's a print you like, you'll be able to wear it, because there will be plenty of variety available to you. Third on our list are geometric prints. Geometric prints are fun, creative, and honestly, pretty much all types of geometrics work here, okay? You can opt for them in a very fluid, soft version, especially for warmer days, or you can add them to wool or a sweater to bring that cozy vibe for colder days. Geometric patterns are not necessarily timeless, okay? There are moments when they're trendy and others when they go out of style. That's why I'd say that, within fashion trends, this is one you should approach with caution. Just because something is trending doesn't mean it will stay that way. So, keep in mind that it's not the most timeless trend of all. My tip is to go for slightly deconstructed geometric shapes. Nothing too perfect, nothing too organized. Also, go for pieces with a slightly retro, vintage feel, especially taking inspiration from the 1960s and 1970s, because that will bring more creativity. It's also very worth looking for these kinds of pieces in thrift shops. Besides being a great way to save money, you're you're also giving a new life to a piece that might be gorgeous but is just sitting forgotten in a corner. I'd suggest always trying to combine harmonious colors within these combinations. Do this by matching the colors in that geometric print with other parts of your outfit, like the shoes, blouse, bag, or pants, trying to bring more harmony to the look. This is a creative, lively print that will, without a doubt, bring lots of personality to your outfits and wardrobe. But it may not be the easiest to pair. Keep that in mind. I think it looks gorgeous, sensational in sets. I've seen several coordinated sets that feature this geometric theme, but again, I'd say it's a more creative print. So, if you've never worn anything like it, take it slow. Choose one piece, then another, because I've noticed it's a print that people love for a while and then get tired of. So just keep that in mind and, as I said, try to combine it with other elements you already have in your wardrobe, other colors, so it doesn't become a random geometric piece that doesn't go with anything. Number 4 on our list is floral, particularly Liberty Floral. Liberty Floral is smaller, more delicate, and very common in those dresses known as dresses, which are very feminine, summery, spring-like, but can be adapted for all seasons. These are sweet feminine florals that usually bring a youthful and extremely feminine touch to any outfit. You can go for lighter tones for warmer days. I think combinations with blue, pink, yellow, and peach look beautiful. You can also choose a winter floral, which, in this case, would be one with a darker background. In that case, choose one color for the flowers, and the background could be black, brown, purple, or navy blue. All of these can be great bases for this type of print. This print looks beautiful in more fluid fabrics, with ruffles, and it also pairs very well with the boho chic or boho glam trend, which is coming in strong for 2026. It also works with tailoring if used well. We need to be careful when choosing the fabric and color combinations, so it doesn't look like pajamas or like something you'd only wear at home, you know? It's also important not to make your appearance look older. That's why I really like the combination with a darker background. It looks extremely sophisticated and can be worn both in winter and summer, especially if you have a wardrobe with darker tones. If you already love black and white, brown and white, or navy blue and white, if those colors are already part of your wardrobe, this type of floral will likely go perfectly with what you already own. As I always say, ladies, we need to know what works together. There's no point in buying printed pieces and then not knowing how to style them. Maybe they won't match any shoes you own or any of your bags. So, be careful. Another thing is that, because it's a printed piece, it already draws attention. It will be the main focus. So, you'll need more basic pieces to wear with it. If we're talking about a dress, you can pair it with a basic shoe and bag, nothing too big or bulky unless you really want to go for the boho glam look. Then, you can pair it with a bigger bag, maybe even one with fringe. If you're thinking of a skirt, you can pair it with a t-shirt, and yes, you can wear it with a graphic tee, okay? Those with a design or phrase. It looks super interesting. In fact, it's one of the main combinations we'll see in 2026. If it's a blouse, I recommend a very fluid fabric with a light transparency. I don't recommend a very opaque or stiff fabric because that will make the piece look older. It becomes stiff, static, not a good look, ladies. I repeat this because some of you still don't get it. Personal style is personal. Here on YouTube, what we do is give tips. This is what tends to look good from a general standpoint, something most people will see and think beautiful. But if you like something different, there's no problem wearing it, okay? You choose your own style. I like big sunglasses. Some people don't. That's fine. It's part of my style. If your style includes small floral prints in opaque fabrics like cotton or poplin, that's totally fine. Wear what you love. My recommendation, though, for pieces like blouses is to choose more fluid fabrics with light transparency and some ruffles, because those are the trends for 2026. That's what we'll see in major stores and online in top looks. And, as I said before, you can even look in a thrift shop because this type of piece comes back very often. You can even make alterations, buy a dress and turn it into a set, buy a blouse and modify it, remove the sleeves, add sleeves. You can have a lot of fun with it. This is a fabric that really always cycles in and out of fashion. So, keep an eye out. Liberty Floral, especially with transparency and ruffles, will be huge in 2026. Number 5 is stripes, and here, once again, we will have a very wide variety of stripes. For the winter of 2026, the big highlight is thinner, more delicate pinstripes. So, we're going to have something very succinct, delicate, and elegant. For the summer of 2026, we will see colorful, varied stripes and even a mix of stripes within the same fabric. We will have a mix of colors, so there will be stripes for everyone, for all tastes. Some brands, like Balmain, have invested in slightly wider, more voluminous stripes. This is a type of stripe I don't recommend for everyone because it can create a very caricatured look, so I'd say to avoid it. If I were to recommend something, I'd suggest something much more subtle, much more delicate, something you can wear for a long time, pieces that are more timeless. You know, I always encourage here on the channel for you to buy pieces that, besides looking good on you, can be worn for a long time. After all, we need to make the most of our money, so it's no use buying something you find gorgeous and wearing it once or twice because later you'll say, oh, it's out of style. I walk around in this and people look at me strangely, like what happened years ago when there was a strong trend for bold black and white stripes that even looked like Beetlejuice's outfit. So, be careful with these very thick stripes. I'd say invest in more delicate pieces, like those presented by Zimmermann and Stella McCartney, which brought very soft, succinct stripes, wonderful, totally timeless pieces, soft tones, delicacy. All of this makes a big difference, right ladies? It brings an air of elegance and richness to any outfit. If you can't find a piece with this more delicate stripe pattern, what you can do is have it made. You can buy the fabric, take it to your seamstress, or better yet, go to the seamstress, talk to her, see if that piece can be made with fabric X or fabric Y. Then, you buy the fabric and ask your seamstress to make it. This way, you will have a garment that, besides being tailor-made and fitting beautifully on your body, will also be a piece to last forever. We're talking here about extremely timeless, sophisticated, elegant, elevated stripes, pieces you can pick up and wear 10 years from now, and they'll still look beautiful. So, if you want my advice, that slightly more delicate stripe is worth your investment. Avoid the larger, highly distinctive, hyper-colored ones, especially if they don't match your personality. If you're not a very creative woman, there will be that clash, and you won't be able to wear them later. Now, tell me which prints you like the most. I want to know in the comments. You know that your comment also influences other subscribers here on the channel, so I love seeing your opinion. And of course, you already know you can help me by writing today's magic words, which are Prince 2026. I'm counting on you to put those magic words. While you help me with your comment, we'll keep going with the video. Number 6 is very creative, fun prints. I know some of you will like them, others won't, but my job is to bring them to you, right? Here we're talking about fish and fruit. In the case of fish, especially sardines, it's a very fun and creative print that will appear everywhere. Dresses, coats, pants, sets, skirts. There's a lot to play with. It's also a print that will show up on many bags. It brings freshness and creativity, just like fruit prints. In the case of fruit, we will also see a great variety: cherries, bananas, apples, all kinds of fruit. But if I had to highlight one, the Sicilian lemon continues to be the standout fruit, along with the cherry. The cherry was a big hype in 2025. So some people might be a bit tired of it and, for that reason, will move toward other fruits. What matters here is to unleash your creativity and wear them however you prefer. One tip is to invest in graphic t-shirts because it's the simplest and most practical way to start incorporating these prints into your wardrobe. Of course, as I said, you can invest in bigger, bolder pieces. But since we're talking about a trend that will probably be short-lived, meaning it will appear boom for a while and soon go out of style, especially because it's extremely creative, it might not be a good idea to invest in a large piece unless you really love it. As for me, I'm someone who loves fish and already likes this aesthetic. I even have several fish-themed items saved on my Pinterest and more than 10 aquariums at home. So, in my case, it wouldn't be something I'd get tired of easily once I bought it. In fact, I have several creative fish-related items in my shopping cart right now. I even have a shark-shaped bag. So, just so you get the idea, these are items that really make sense for me. If they don't make sense for your personality, you don't have to buy them, okay? I'd say the sardine print won't be a huge hit for everyone. It will be something that shows up a lot online, but in day-to-day life, we won't see it that much. The fruit print, however, I think is something we'll see very strongly, not only on the internet, but also in everyday life. When we go to social gatherings, we'll see a lot of people wearing them. Number 7 is the combination of prints, something quite complex and that not everyone gets right. But it's going to come in strong in 2026. You know we've been riding this thrift store trend. Fashion in 2026 is about creating your own style. So we'll see these printed, unique pieces being combined with one another. One tip is to combine organic with inorganic. For example, if you pick up a stripe, you can pair it with a floral. Because stripes are inorganic, they're not living elements, you see? Whereas a floral represents flowers, meaning living things. You can also pair stripes with animal print. That way, you're also mixing organic and inorganic. It's quite complex, okay guys? Not everyone can pull off a good print mix. This one I recommend for people who are more creative and bold. If you want a tip, try to keep everything in the same tone, the same color, or within a similar palette. You could pair everything in shades leaning toward yellow, or toward pink, or toward brown. Also, avoid very flashy colors if you've never done this before. So, if you want to try a mix of prints, it's easier to go black and white, all black and white, rather than mix prints where one piece is pink, another is green, and another is yellow, because you might find it strange. I say this as someone who's gone to a store, spent money, put the look together, and then didn't like it. I don't want you to waste money. My advice is, look for references. Go on Google, go on Pinterest, search for print combination ideas. I want to combine this polka dot, this animal print, this plaid. How do I do it? Look at photos, see how other people have done it. That way, you'll have an excellent base to create your look in a way you'll like, without wasting money or time, and without buying pieces you'll end up not wearing. By taking these small precautions and, of course, being creative and bold, you'll be able to embrace this print mix trend with ease. Number 8 is animal print, which remains strong for 2026. Of course, we'll still have the traditional leopard print. It's still going strong, appearing in various collections. Roberto Cavalli and Saint Laurent always bring some piece in this style, but we'll also see the addition of snakeskin prints, which, naturally, also showed up in Roberto Cavalli's work. He always brings plenty of animal print, and in Valentino's collections as well. So, we'll mainly see these two prints, snake and leopard, which have already become classics. I highly recommend warmer prints, like leopard, for women with warmer palettes, those who have brown, orange, and beige in their wardrobes, because they harmonize beautifully. For women with a cooler palette whose wardrobe is mostly black, white, gray, and maybe off-white, I recommend snake print, as it works much better. Animal print is something you need personality to wear. I think it makes a woman look bold and powerful, and that's why I don't think it's worth starting with a large piece if you've never worn it before. I recommend starting with a bag or shoes, always starting with accessories. This way, you can gradually add the trend to your wardrobe without going over the top or ending up with something that feels too loud for your taste. That's why I always suggest starting with a bag or shoes. If you think shoes don't suit you, start with a bag. If you don't want to start with an accessory, go for a top, preferably a t-shirt, a basic, inexpensive piece. This way, you can add it and be sure it works with your wardrobe. Remember, you can wear any animal print you like, but as I said earlier, leopard works best with warm palettes, while snake print works best with cool palettes. So, if you already know your personal color palette, you'll immediately know which will flatter you most. And if you're enjoying this video, you need to be subscribed to this channel, because here we have daily videos about fashion, beauty, trends, everything you need to stay fashionable and more beautiful every day. So don't waste time. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and check your subscription, okay? Sometimes YouTube removes it, but if you're subscribed and have the bell on, you'll always get notified when a new video comes out. So, while you do that, let's keep going with the video. Number 9 on our list of prints for 2026 is polka dots. Polka dots, which appeared in several fashion shows, including Valentino, remain in style for 2026 and will appear in an extremely versatile way. We'll see variety not only in color combinations, but also in sizes and in the arrangement of the dots on the fabric. You'll find everything from neatly organized polka dots within the print to very scattered ones that follow no pattern, what we like to call confetti polka dots, because they fall across the fabric in a totally random way. So, there will be something for everyone. The polka dot styling tip remains the same. If you want to convey delicacy, go for smaller dots. If you want to convey strength, opt for larger ones, always respecting your own beauty. You'll notice that some people look great with slightly larger polka dots, while others match better with smaller ones. My tip is also to choose a fabric background color that matches your wardrobe. So, if you wear a lot of brown, you don't need to buy a black and and white piece. You can choose one with a brown background. In fact, pairing brown with polka dots adds a lot of personality to your look. Now, if you like that truly timeless capsule wardrobe style, I'd say go for the classic black and white, which is very traditional and never goes out of style. But I really like, if you'll allow me a suggestion, ladies, the combination of black polka dots on a white background. It's so elegant, so beautiful, and not too cartoonish. Because we must be careful not to look like we're wearing a costume, you know? Like you bought an overly gimmicky piece. That's not what we want. We want something elegant. If you want a more modern vibe, I'd say avoid fabrics that are extremely opaque or stiff. Invest in flowy, lightweight, airy fabrics because they are more modern and give polka dots a fresher look. If you want a truly retro feel, then go for more opaque, stiffer fabrics, which will give that 50s or 60s vibe if that's the style you're aiming for. To start wearing polka dots in your everyday outfits, I highly recommend scarves. They're a very practical, simple way to add the pattern. They're also inexpensive, so it's not a big investment. This way, you can test the look, tie a scarf around your neck, and see if you like it. If you do, then you already know polka dots suit you. If not, you won't have to buy a full dress just to find out. I think this scarf tip is fantastic. One more tip, the scarf should be made of a soft, flexible fabric, okay? Avoid scarves with very stiff fabric. Recently, I bought some scarves that came in a stiffer fabric, and I didn't like them. So be careful. It needs to be a pliable material. Otherwise, besides being uncomfortable, it won't look very nice when styling your outfit. And number 10 is gingham. Gingham will appear mainly in the warmer seasons, but it can also be adapted for the colder autumn and winter months. We'll see gingham mostly in lighter, softer shades. The famous pastel tones we've already discussed here on the channel, also known as ice cream colors or cotton candy colors like light blue, light yellow, light pink, and light green. All those gentle, soft shades. The idea here is to be as creative as you like. If you enjoy black and white gingham, keep wearing it. If you want to mix two colors, go ahead. The goal is to unleash your creativity. I'm so happy this fabric remains in style because we're talking about a print that was a huge success in 2024. I love when trends last longer. It's such a shame when we see a trend appear and disappear in such a fleeting way, extremely quickly. It ends up looking like we bought something just to follow the trend, right? And as I always recommend, see if this print matches your personal style. To me, this pattern feels like spring. It reminds me of a very feminine, delicate woman because it carries that picnic vibe, pies, fruit. It's a print that, to me, conveys that feeling. So, if you already have that aesthetic, if you already give off that vibe, this pattern will suit your wardrobe, your personality, and you perfectly. Speaking of gingham making a comeback, you should also check out the 2010 trends that are returning for 2026, and there are many. I've made a list of them, so just click on the video that's showing up on your screen now.